Here on court one, we've got the next match, the 10:40 match. The number 6 seeds taking on the number 14 seeds, Tarryn, Angermeier and Genel Sturgeon of Victoria, taking on the number 14 seeds of Annelies Jones and Ella Schabort, the Queensland and WA pairing. That was Angermeier with the serve. She sends that one long for a now 3-all scoreline. The girls in blue, closest to the broadcast end, that was Ella Schabort and Annelies Jones. Jones with defense. She's not wearing a visor. She's blonde. She's having a swing now. And for the girls in green, Sturgeon is on the floor. She's the one in the visor with Angermeier, her partner. You'll hear them. They're from Victoria. You'll definitely hear them, being originally from the US of A. Quite the loud duo. And a little roll shot over the top of the block from Angermeier brings a change of ends. With that change of ends, that's 4-all. Even though we change every 7, we might have just missed one in our duty teams. Changing of the guard, whatnot. Angermeier with a block. She's not used to being up at the net so much, with Genel being such a tall, dominant blocker and swinger herself. But as I can attest to, running 8 metres straight after a float service, quite tough, especially in the sand. But not this sand here in Cobram. It is delightful. Thompsons Beach, Australia's largest inland beach, on the banks of the Murray. And the banks of the Murray, I said the largest inland beach. However, last year the beach was significantly bigger. The La Nina effect and the emptying of some dams has seen the river levels rise significantly. And sadly for our court setup, we've probably got half the amount of turf or sand that we had last year. But we've still got plenty of dominant beach volleyball action coming at you for round 1 of the Australian Beach Volleyball Tour. And it's Sturgeon once again with the serve. They lead 6-4. Jump float sent down to Annelies Jones, and she sends one cross-court in front of that defender in Sturgeon. Annelies Jones, cracking swing. Ella Schabort with the visor. She's going to head back to serve, we think. Strong serve from Ella Schabort, putting the Victorian girls on the back foot, but no, it's Genel Sturgeon sealing the net on the block. Scoring a point for the Victorian girls as they lead 7-6 here in the first set. And they'll take a 2-point advantage and we change ends. 8-6. The girls in blue coming to the broadcast end. Over on 2 for Ella Schabort from WA originally, and Annelies Jones, her partner from Queensland. The girls teaming up as AVA athletes. We'll have a special guest later today to go through some details of the AVA in Russell Bourgeot. Oh, tight set dealt with from blocker and attacker, but it's Angermeier with the vision to go one ball straight over and find the vacant piece of real estate to give them 8 all. Genel Sturgeon sending it. Big swing high across court. Sturgeon finds the back corner. We're going to go to a technical timeout with the score adding up to 21. And we'll be back after this short break. Couple of handling errors and net infringement have seen a 2-point lead go to the girls in blue, Annelies Jones and Ella Schabort, and it's Jones, the former, with the serve. And with a few of those extra points to Jones and Schabort, that's forced Angermeier and Sturgeon to another timeout. We'll be back just after this.
Cobram-Barooga's fresh new bar, 1981.
Back here on centre court, court 1. Straight after those lovely messages and vision from Cafe 1981 here in Barooga and Cobram of the border town on the banks of the Murray River. That looked delicious. I would request from my minions to bring me some of those things, including one of the cocktails. That looked delicious. Back in action now. Great set from Sturgeon, and Knuckles from Angermeier does the damage. They've had a chat and they're back. Just out of reach of the defender again. And it's Jones and Schabort just keeping the girls in green at bay as we change ends. And it looks like it's going to be Ella Schabort back to the baseline to serve. Sturgeon at full stretch. Can't quite make the dig. And a 2-point buffer with Jones back to serve 16-14. Huge swing from Jones. This time it's the delicate touch of Schabort, but it goes back and too far in the deep corner. Going into the Thompsons Beach sand outside the court confines. And speaking of outside the court confines here at Thompsons Beach, we'd love to know where you're viewing from. We're on YouTube Live, so if you've got the capacity to comment, chuck us up. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching, who you're supporting. You might be a WA person and taking on Ella Schabort's as your favourite athlete out here today. She's obviously from WA. And we're going to go to another little timeout here at 16 all.
The ultimate family playground is at Sporties, with 18 holes of challenging and fun mini golf. Play a quick 9 or make a day of it with breakfast, lunch and dinner options. Open 7 days. Have a great day out with Sporties Mini Golf.
Court 1 here at Thompsons Beach, Cobram. But just over the river is Barooga. It is Cobram-Barooga, the border towns of in Victoria and New South Wales respectively, and you would have just seen the advert for Sporties in Barooga. It's a cracking venue, and why not go play some mini golf with the kids or on a hot little date. Then grab a feed afterwards in the Sporties bar in the TAB. We ate there last night. It was delicious. 17-16, the girls in green hit the lead. The number 6 seeds in Tarryn, Angermeier and Genel Sturgeon. Originally from the US of A, now calling Victoria home. And we'll have a replay after that ball comes on court. Safety first. Ball goes in on the green side of the court. Angermeier and Sturgeon lose the serve, but they get the chance to first attack now as Jones and Schabort have the honours of serving. Jones with a short jump float. Angermeier with a deep roll. Short cut shot from Schabort. Oh, and Angermeier goes snap. Cracking finish for probably the point of the match at least. And they hit the lead as a change of ends. Two-point buffer. Sturgeon with the serve. Gets on that angle on defense. Gets the ball up. Has a swing herself. She stayed at the net to block now. Gets it. Still in play. She's there again. And Sturgeon has absolutely cut him up that set. Set point 2018 with Schabort on the serve. And another set point save, 19 serving 20. Ella Schabort, the AVA athlete, teaming up with her, Annelies Jones from Queensland. It's good to see, obviously, state, not necessarily versus state, but teaming up with each other. So there's a pathway for these athletes now called the AVA, the Australian Volleyball Academy. And with us in the set break, which we are not quite there at yet, at 20 points all, we're going to have the head coach, Russ Bourgeau, join us. But we are not done just yet. 20 points all. Still Ella Schabort. Oh, great cut shot from Jones. They're not done with yet. And I've got a very excited and smiling assassin himself, the Russ Bourgeau, ready to join me here on comms in the set break. And it is set point to the girls in blue, the AVA athletes of Jones and Schabort. With a high-line shot from Jones and some scramble from Schabort, they have done it. They've taken out this first set in an absolute barnstormer, 22-20. And with me, I have AVA...
expect it to go down to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand this is the girls' first tournament together or first pairing together?
Pretty much. They did have a one-day tournament in a Canberra local tournament the other weekend, but yeah, first national.
Brilliant.
Together.
And how are you seeing them? Well, you've only had the first set, 22-20, pretty tight.
Yeah, well, and they had a good game yesterday, although they lost to one of the top seeds, but they played really well. And I was, well, in some ways, pleasantly surprised. They really lifted, and Ella's a young player, and she's really stepping up in this tournament.
I understand she's still only 17, still in high school.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly, yeah. And she, it's kind of, I think yesterday showed a new side of it. You know, she really was consistent. She's got great reach.
Yeah,
and
very tall.
Yeah.
How tall is she?
Good question.
6'2"?
Something 6'1", 6'2". I should know those figures, I guess. But Annelies is 6 foot, I think. So yeah,
brilliant. So tell us a little bit more about the AVA. What's the pathway there for? What's it all about?
Yeah, well, we do obviously beach, and then when we get to the winter, do a bit of indoor. But the focus right now, we train 4 or 5 days a week on the beach, and with the idea of the ladies progressing either to Brisbane with the beach academy there, or potentially colleges in the US.
Wow. We're back here in the second set. Big shank on defence, but that's 1-1 to start things off. Maybe we're in for another tight one.
Yeah, I think so.
How many athletes roughly do you have in the AVA?
Yeah, it's 16 girls, and the guys, I should know the number, but it's about 20. So I should have mentioned the guys before. They have the same pathways.
Yeah, nice. And what's the age range?
I think our youngest player is 16, turning 17, and the eldest is 21, I think.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah. And how have you found, we all know that you were previously the head coach of the Australian men's program, the men's team.
Yep.
How have you found the difference between, training adult men versus sort of developing adolescent athletes?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm loving it actually, because they're very open to learning. They really want to improve. It's not that the men didn't. But they were they were already, a number of them ready, made athletes that I took over. So these guys and these ladies are on a pretty steep trajectory, and it's nice. You see it weekly, the improvements.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. And I understand there's a couple of international tournaments coming up. Is it the Asian Champs and the World Juniors? Is that correct?
Yeah, I should know that. But yes, I believe
we'll
so.
edit this out.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And
we're just trying to survive the national tour.
Got to get through the weekend first. Yeah. And how are you finding, the tournaments across the various places in Australia? Obviously, there's an inland tournament here, and then when you hit the beach, the conditions different, the sand's different. How do you find it?
Yeah. Well, I used to be on the beach 20 years ago as a coach, and so it's, the quality of the play and the setups improved immeasurably, and I'd love. This is my first time to Cobram, and it's a beautiful spot.
It's stunning.
But I'm sure when we get to the coast, there'll be a bit more breeze at times, and so that's a good challenge for the players.
Absolutely. Well, we're still 3-3. Not much separating these two.
It's going to be a battle.
Absolutely. Now, on the horizon for these two girls in particular, is there any aspirations for, as you said, college, or is there an indoor pathway for these girls as well, or is it they purely beach?
No, it's both.
Yep.
So at the moment, and things change depending, what opportunities open up. I think Annelies at the moment is thinking a bit more indoor and potentially professional in Europe or college. And Ella, last I spoke to her, was more about the college, but it depends. If something like the program in Brisbane opened up, that might also be.
Fantastic.
I think most of them are pretty open to any of the opportunities. Yeah.
And that's probably the key word, like opportunities and avenues, because you and I would know you a little more senior than I, but
I think it's officially senior
growing up, there
pensioner.
wasn't this pathway, and there wasn't this athleticism, and there wasn't this programming, and there wasn't these opportunities.
No, spot on.
Leaps and
Yeah, I agree. It's so exciting. You know, I only just came back probably 6 months ago to full-time coaching, and just absolutely loving it. You know, just seeing the passion, the young people. I shouldn't say kids; they're mostly young adults. And yeah,
I think you've earned the right.
yeah, and they really show the advantage of lots of years of work by good people. You know, it's we kind of get people, young athletes that have had a lot of training from their school, their club, their state coaches, and we kind of try to add on to that. So,
That's good.
I think the whole system is working pretty well. It's
Fantastic.
great to see.
Well, it's certainly come along probably in the last 10 years, leaps and bounds that I've noticed, not only on the sand, but obviously indoor with the various avenues and programs. So congratulations to yourself and everybody at the helm.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
No worries.
Just a small part of it, but I think it's always, it sounds cliche, but it's true. It's definitely a team effort. So thanks to everyone.
No worries. Well, we'll let you get back out there and cheer on the girls, and hopefully, for your sake, they can get up. But if you're a Victorian or a US contingent, then maybe we'll go to 3.
What's the score, John?
The score is 6-5, so quite tight with your girls, the AVA girls of Schabort and Jones in the lead.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
No worries.
One shot just long and change it. 2-point buffer, 8 points, 36. Second change in the second set. With a 1 set to long advantage. The girls in blue, number 14 seed. Charlotte, 27.
Sneaks away through for a 2-point advantage, 9-7. Thank you so much to, obviously, Russ Bourgeot, who just joined us there in the set break. He's parked himself up on the Thompsons Beach Hill, and he's supporting his athletes along with some of the other athletes as well from the AVA, and that is Jones with a serve and cracks it down the middle for an Angermeier shank. 3-point buffer, 10-7, going the way of the girls in blue. Sturgeon on the 2-ball. Jones with defense. Brings the heat. Scramble from the girls in green. Bump set. No block. And no winner. 8 points to 10. Down to a 2-point advantage to Jones and Schabort. Another one goes deep to the back court. As our first referee, Annelies May, calls that one in. Great serve again. Ella Schabort from WA. Basically an ace serve to take a technical timeout at 13 points to 8. The girls in blue lead. Back here on court one and the banks of the Murray River at Thompsons Beach, Australia's largest inland beach. Our first referee, one of our young and up-and-coming junior referees, Annelies May. She'll be here around all the junior tour tournaments. And she's got herself a gig here on broadcast with the elite program. Well, the elite side of the competition with seeds number 6 taking on seeds number 14 here in the second set. The first set went 22-20 with a cracking comeback from the girls in blue, Annelies Jones and Ella Schabort. And it's the former Annelies Jones doing the damage at the net for the block there. And they pull away to a 6-point buffer here on the hot sands of Cobram. Sturgeon like a surgeon. Over the top of the block, down the line, easy as you like. They've drawn back to within striking distance here in the second set. They desperately need to win this one to send it to a third and deciding set and save what could be viewed as a little bit of an upset if you at least go on seeds or rankings. Great serve from Tarryn Angermeier. Finished off delicately from the taller of the two at the net in Genel Sturgeon. Back to 2 points. Easy as you like from Jones. Ace serve, 16-12 change of ends. Tough serve, just catching Angermeier a little high on the passing platform there, and they've gone with a little change of tactic. They've swapped sides. Angermeier now playing left side. on the right-hand side as you look at it. And they still go to her, so there's a clear tactic to go for the player rather than position. And they have extended their lead significantly, 18-12, looking to take this one out in straight sets. Angermeier and Sturgeon still with a little sniff here in the second set as they change sides again, and Jones again serves Angermeier. All four athletes scrambling. Jones starts and finishes the point. Put the opposition under the pump, but then put herself under the pump for a diving save, but to no avail. And it's back to 5 points. Crunch time here for the girls in green. Sturgeon holding defense. Now she's at the net to block. Jones for a swing, but the set's too tight. And Sturgeon just easily knuckles it back over the top of the running in attacker. 4 points now. 14 serving 18. Genel Sturgeon with the honours. And with that service attempt, brings about the fault. Not ideal for the girls in green. Of course, we saw such a ripping first set. Speaking of ripping, on the 2-ball with a 1-foot attack. Sturgeon. Now it's Angermeier. Can she take some of that anger of being served for 4 points in a row out on her own service run? 15-19. Sends a little floater. What's she got on defense? Full stretch, can't get the touch, and Schabort with a winner straight up the middle. And we'll change ends, and that brings about our first match point. 2015 to the girls in blue. Annelies Jones from Queensland and Ella Schabort from WA. The AVA athletes. Russell Bourgeot, it's almost like he left the comms area and sat on the hill, and his watchful eye has inspired the girls on. Retreating off the net. Schabort defended up, and a double contact called on the Tarryn Angermeier set, and that brings the end of the set. 21-16. 2 sets to love. Going the way of Annelies Jones and Ella Schabort here in the first round of the Australian Beach Volleyball Tour at Cobram.